Apple has done it again. This time, it's not about blazing fast chips, stunning displays, or jaw-dropping design. The new M5 MacBook Pro is here. The iPad Pro is refreshed, and even the Vision Pro got a small update. But the real story isn't inside the devices. It's about what's missing: the charger. Yes, for European buyers, Apple's new MacBook Pro now ships without a charger in the box, and people are furious. The twist? Apple isn't doing this voluntarily. They're following the European Union's rules, specifically the Common Charger Directive. The law sounds reasonable on paper. Consumers should have the choice to buy a device without a charger to reduce e-waste. But in practice, Apple's solution has sparked anger, confusion, and a lot of what reactions from customers who feel like they're paying the same price for less than their friends across the Atlantic. The EU's Common Charger Directive is more than just a standardization law. It's a push to reduce electronic waste and give consumers flexibility. On paper, it sounds great. If people already have chargers lying around, why force them to buy another one? Apple's response is technically compliant. In the EU, you can now buy a MacBook Pro without a charger in the box, or you can pay extra to include one. But here's the problem. Consumers aren't seeing this as freedom of choice. They're seeing it as getting less for the same price. Meanwhile, in the US or Japan, the MacBook still ships with a charger. That contrast makes European buyers feel shortchanged. The optics are rough, and the outrage is predictable. People aren't angry at the EU's intent. They're frustrated with the empty box, the added cost, and the sense that regulations are dictating how Apple packages its products, rather than letting the company make design decisions on its own. This situation perfectly illustrates the unintended consequences of regulation. The EU's goal was simple: empower consumers and reduce waste. Apple is doing exactly what the law requires, giving European buyers a choice. But the result is a product that feels incomplete, and that's sparking backlash. From a design perspective, Apple isn't harming the environment more than before. The M5 MacBook Pro is still a marvel of efficiency, speed, and on-device AI performance. Yet psychologically, people notice when something they used to get for free is suddenly absent. There's no new feature, no flashy accessory to soften the blow, like when Apple removed the iPhone charger years ago. For European consumers, the trade-off isn't obvious. They're left wondering why they're paying the same price for less, and why government rules are now influencing what should be a design and packaging decision. It's a small change, but it feels significant. The optics of this move are tricky for everyone involved. Apple looks like it's punishing European customers for regulatory intervention, even though it's just following the law. Meanwhile, the EU looks like it's creating frustration rather than freedom of choice. Normally, Apple would soften the impact of such changes by introducing new accessories or storytelling, like when the iPhone switched to MagSafe, giving consumers a tangible benefit to offset the missing charger. But with the MacBook Pro, there's nothing extra. The box simply feels emptier. Customers notice immediately, and social media reactions highlight the disparity. People in Chicago, New York, and Tokyo still get the charger included, while Europeans pay extra if they want the same package. It's a perfect storm of perception, regulation, and corporate policy colliding, leaving everyone frustrated and questioning who truly benefits from these well-meaning rules. This charger controversy also raises a deeper question. Who should decide product details, companies or governments? Apple probably would have eventually moved to USB-C anyway, since the standard is faster, more universal, and better for consumers in the long run. But the EU essentially dictated the timeline and the packaging rules, leaving Apple little room to manage the transition on its own terms. Now the company is caught between compliance and customer satisfaction. European buyers see an empty box and feel penalized, while Apple's design philosophy emphasizes simplicity, efficiency, and environmental responsibility. The EU's intention was to empower customers and reduce waste, but forcing the choice through regulation has created a perception of loss rather than freedom. It's a lesson in how even well-intended laws can produce unexpected backlash when they intersect with consumer expectations and global pricing differences. There's also a psychological element at play. When Apple removed the iPhone charger, it offered accessories and told a story about sustainability, making the trade-off feel justified. With the MacBook Pro, there's no distraction, no added benefit, just a missing item. Customers immediately notice that they're paying the same price for less. It feels unfair, especially when compared internationally. The EU got exactly what it asked for. Consumers can now technically choose whether or not to buy a charger, but people don't always see freedom of choice as a benefit, especially when it comes with added cost and frustration. In this case, the law's intent to empower users is colliding with the reality of human perception. Instead of feeling in control, many European buyers feel penalized and slightly resentful of both Apple and the regulators who prompted the change. The charger issue might seem small, but it highlights a broader tension between big tech priorities and government regulation. Apple focuses on innovation, design, and user experience, while the EU prioritizes standardization, consumer choice, and sustainability. When those priorities collide, nobody truly wins. The product itself, a new M5 MacBook Pro, is a technological marvel, faster, more efficient, and packed with on-device AI capabilities. Yet, the empty box overshadows the innovation for many buyers. It's a reminder that even the most advanced technology can be undermined in perception by small changes in packaging. Customers may admire the hardware, but their first impression is often the unboxing experience, and in Europe, that experience now feels incomplete. So what's the takeaway from all this? Apple is giving the European Union exactly what it asked for, a choice to buy a MacBook Pro without a charger. But in doing so, it has created frustration among customers who feel like they're paying the same price for less. It's a clash of priorities, government regulation versus corporate design philosophy, sustainability versus perception, choice versus expectation. The M5 MacBook Pro itself is a powerhouse, packed with speed, efficiency, and advanced AI capabilities. Yet, all anyone is talking about in Europe is the missing charger. This small box change has become a symbol of how even well-intended laws can create backlash, showing that when regulation meets tech, optics can matter as much as functionality. In the end, Apple, the EU, and consumers are all caught in a complicated dance of compliance, expectation, and perception. And that's the story behind the M5 MacBook Pro's missing charger in Europe. On paper, it's about choice and sustainability, but in practice, it's left a lot of customers frustrated and questioning who really benefits. Apple delivered exactly what the EU asked for, yet perception matters as much as compliance. Whether you're cheering for environmental responsibility, annoyed at the added cost, or just curious about global tech differences, this is a perfect example of how regulations, design, and consumer expectations collide. So next time you unbox a new device, remember, it's not just what's inside that counts. It's also what's missing and how it makes you feel.